Okay, so I wanted to show, if you follow a lot of the stuff that I do with food storage, preparedness, stuff like that throughout the year, I also do freeze-dried foods and Thrive Life. Thrive Life freeze-dried foods. So this year I purchased a bunch of these containers. These are just Better Homes and Garden containers from Walmart. Actually, I might have gotten some on Amazon too, but anyhow, supposedly airtight. They're newsflash. So I like that they're clear. I got my little top labels, and I love the way they look all organized in my pantry. But it does me no good if they're not airtight. So they do have that little latch thing here, and it looks all impressive, and for sure they'd be airtight, but they're not. They're really not. And how you can tell they're not is freeze-dried stuff kept in them started to go spongy, like soft. Yeah, freeze-dried food isn't supposed to be soft. That means it's exposed to moisture in the air and all that, and obviously you don't want that. So, I realized after a few months of that, at first I thought it was my fault and I wasn't sealing them correctly, but it's not. It's the container's fault. So, I decided to go back. I learned my lesson, and I'm going to go back. I'm swapping everything to my handy-dandy, actually for realsies, airtight Tupperware containers. So, every year in January, Tupperware has a sale on, these are called modular rates. They're airtight containers, and they are airtight. So I still use some of these, like this is my brown sugar. This is the only thing I'll keep my brown sugar in because it is airtight. My brown sugar is always soft. So, like I said, I thought I liked these, and I thought they looked neat and stuff. But learn my lesson. They're not cool if they don't keep things airtight. So I'm going to be transferring and remodeling my pantry while they're on sale. So we're doing an online Tupperware party, and so you can feel free to do this with me if you're thinking New Year's resolutions. You want to organize your pantry. You want to have long-term food storage, or if you use Thrive Life already, the freeze-dried foods and stuff, this is definitely, Tupperware containers are going to be the best way to keep them long-term, even better than the cans, just because, again, the cans aren't 100% airtight. So, these are definitely my recommendation, and why I'm switching. Like I said, learn my lesson. So, let me go through the sizes. So, here's the sales flyer. So, actually, I'm going to introduce you to my friend Danielle. She is my Tupperware rep. Woo, she gets to come on camera. So, this is Danielle. So, do you want to tell them this? So, the sizes and shapes.
Yes. So, modular mates come in 5 different shapes. There's squares, there's ovals, and then there's rectangles, super ovals, and also rounds.
That's the lip shape.
Yeah. So in the sale, they've got certain sizes and certain sets, and they all kind of work together. So an oval, you can fit 2 ovals side by side on top of a square. You can fit 2 of the super ovals on top of a rectangle, or 3 of the ovals turned this way. It's kind of like Legos meets Tetris for grown-ups, and then your kitchen's perfectly organized. Every shape also has sizes. So this one is a 4, and it's 4 high. So a 1 would only be this tall, a 2 would be this tall, a 3 would be this tall, so on and so forth. Every different shape comes in the same sizes. So you can put 2 4s next to a 4, or 2 2s next to a 4, and it fills up every nook and cranny of your cupboard. So you don't lose stuff behind. You can see exactly what you've got. They're clear, so you can see how much of what is left, and then the different configurations work better for different things.
So then,
perfect.
The number's going to be the height.
Yes.
How many ones?
There's 2 of the oval ones over there.
Here, this is a good example right
Yeah.
now. So the numbers are going to be your height, and then the shape is going to be the lid shape of the shape of the container. So we've got, let's do this. That's a 3 and a 1. Okay. And then here's a 2. But this is an oval, or this is a super oval. Okay. So, let me tilt this a bit so you can see. So we've got, this is a 1. That's not good. Let me see if I can get it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so if you have, there we go. Does that work?
1, 2, 3, 5.
So you got 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, do we have a 4? This one. There's one right there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that the number is your height. But then you've got super oval and oval.
Yes.
Now, and then your height. Sorry, I'm not.
You're fine.
Okay. And then I like a rectangle. So this is a rectangle. This is a square. There we go.
So a rectangle will hold a square and an oval together to maximize your stacking.
Yeah.
Or 2 super ovals.
So then that's your, and then yeah, the super ovals, if you want to stack those on top of the rectangle this way, or you turn it this way, that should stand, and they can, you can Tetris them together. They're actually really, really cool. So and I totally messed up your set.
Okay.
Which one? Okay, we'll show the set. So personally, for me, I always preferred, this is a rectangle 4, right? Yeah, 4. This is like, I keep my bisquick in this, because again, that's another baking thing that you don't want to dry out or anything. I just cut out and put them on there so I know what's on them. And the rectangles will fit perfectly in your pantry cupboard. Standard pantry cupboard. You can put the rectangle in. It'll go 1 inch to the front of the cupboard. It takes up the whole shelf, and it's good to go. And same with the super ovals. They're that distance, that length of the depth of your cupboard. So I like the rectangles for that because I can put them in my pantry. Like I said, this is my brown sugar. This is a 3. But they are nice because they stack really cool. For this though, for all my Thrive freeze-dried stuff, I personally, do whatever you want, but this is me personally. I'm going to go for the squares and the rectangles because these are going in my pantry. So in my pantry, I can actually do 2 deep on them, and they'll be fine. But I was just afraid the rectangles will hold way more than I think I need at a time. I'm pretty positive I can fit a whole number 10 can in here. Does this not say how many cups it is? 2.6 liters, 11 cups. Perfect. Because the number 10 can is about 10.5 to 11 cups of freeze-dried food. So this is literally a number 10 can. So that's perfect. And then, let's see if I can read this one. 2 cups. So the 1 would be too small, but a 2,
I don't have the 2s here.
for the oval. I thought this set had the 2s and, or maybe it's 3s.
I think it has 2 more. 3, but there are 2s.
There are 2, yeah.
And it might be in
So
the
this-
set that we don't have here.
This says 1.7 liters, but it doesn't say how many cups. But if this is 2 cups, then a 2 would be 4 cups. So an oval 2 should be about 4 cups, which is equivalent to a pantry can size. So that's personally what I plan on doing, is getting oval 2s and square 2s, and I'm going to replace all these. So like these are the ones that I had. And this is, I mean, Tupperware's been around for a long time. Everybody likes to copy them because they're successful. And they have, like these, they have their own heights and different things like that. Oh, what's that?
The oval 2.
Oh, thank you. I don't remember which one that was for. We moved on. Thank you, honey. I know. Pass that. So, okay, so that's the basic modular mates. Now then, there's also other things that you can get that are super cool. Now, these, okay, so this is a cereal container. They come in 2 sizes. Let me pull this back so I can use this as my table. So there's your 2 sizes of cereal containers. Does it say, maybe it says on there.
The super has the square and the
How many?
has the round.
Okay, so 13 cups and 20 cups. So 20 cups, 13 cups. And again, they are airtight. They have this here. The only thing is, if you have sure they actually seal them in order for them to be airtight. Imagine that. So, like, these are cool if you're going to have something you're going to pour a lot rather than having to scoop out. They are neat, but that's like where it has the extra hot top. You just have to make sure it seals really good, or else it defeats the point of having an airtight container, right? What else is on this? Oh yeah, I didn't get those out. The spice makers. Let me get a couple out here so I can show those. Anything else you want to?
Just that they've configured some sets. So when you look at the sales flyer on the, we'll post in the comments, right? The sets are 50% off, and you get all the pieces that work together. They're kind of suggested for different things. So there's a pasta center, or a beverage center, or a baking center, and they're kind of designed for the sizes that you would need for certain staple items that you would keep on hand. And they're the shapes and sizes that work well together. So you save 50% when you buy a set right now, versus all the single pieces are on sale for 20% off, which is a great deal. But if you've got 3 or 4 containers that you're like, those are the ones I need, look and see if it's in any of the sets, because you might just end up getting 3 or 4 more for free at that point.
Yeah, it might be a better deal. So here's the spice. Now my lids are red. The sale flyer, is it half red lids or
Everything in the flyer is black except for the cereal stores. You can choose red or black right now.
Okay, so mine, because I've had mine for years and years, but so I have red and black. I actually prefer the black anyway, from that big front side. But these are the spice shakers. They don't have the rack in there. The stand. Okay, so I won't show my stand.
But they work kind of basically the same as the modular mates. So the the seals have kind of a raised edge in the center, and that can matches with the raised bottom here. So you can stack them, and they'll keep from tipping over. I mean, not in an earthquake or anything, but just stacking in your cupboard. And then they do work well together like that. This is 2.5 ounces, so that's your standard spice shaker container that you would purchase. You know, just the standard. The regular spice containers will fit in here. And then these ones are the ones, I use these more than anything else, and I typically buy massive quantities of spices, especially if you go like Mexican market or something, because you can get the little packages, but then you have an open bag of something, so I use the large ones, tons and tons, or for different blends or something.
But I do like these. And when my husband went through and labeled them all for me.
Also, all of our containers on the smooth window and on the bottoms, they're smooth, so you can even take a Sharpie to it and it'll come up with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and they're super low maintenance. But your labels are super cute with the chalkboards.
Yeah, those are on these ones. I have a bunch of these. I got these on Amazon, so I could share the link too. There was a ton of them.
Adorable.
I just like how cute they look, and I can erase them.
A farmhouse style. Everything's coming out. Looks pretty.
Yeah. All right, so we have that. We have, well, let's show the sets. Do you want to show the sets really quick?
So I have, the ones I have here, this is the pasta center. So you get 2 of the square 2s, and then 2 of the oval 4s. So they'll stack with each other this way, and everything's completely level across the top.
Here, let's use this as our camera.
One thing that I've discovered, and this is kind of silly, but in my own personal cupboard space at home, sometimes I do a little bit better to make sure that my things are kind of staggered a little bit. So like I would put this instead of here, because it looks so pretty that way, I might put it on this side just so it gives a little bit of give here, so I can fit a little bit more in between things. But that's the, what was that one?
This is the pasta center. So this one's on sale for $36. So normally it'd be $72 for those 4 containers, but on sale $36.
And then the next one is
The beverage center.
so that looks like 2 squares and then ovals.
2 oval 1s, and 1 oval 3, and 1 oval 5, square 2 and square 3. That's the one we have over here. So, I'm really short. I'm standing back a little bit.
So I used to like to use the squares when my family was smaller, just because 10 pounds of sugar or flour or whatever. Now, my family's quite a bit bigger and I've graduated to the ginormous rectangles. But I did like them kind of more like a canister shape in size. They're easier to lift and manage when they're super full. But in my cupboards, like she was saying, standard cupboard will go depth-wise the rectangle. I liked to use a square this way, and then I can still stack things in front of it in my cupboard and still see what was behind. Or random things where you end up with jars of, oil or things that you're not going to put in a modular meat, sprinkles, whatever. So there's a place for both in my space still, but definitely using more of the rectangles than we started out with.
Yeah, I like the rectangles for the cupboard because
Especially things that you're going to use massive quantities of.
Well, and I don't like stuff in front of them because I don't have to move it every time
Right.
I make something up.
And that's kind of the point too, is you're almost better off to have, instead of a big square with something in front of it or stacked, you can go with the rectangles and you can go with smaller and fit the same quantity. So a square 2 or a 3 will fit in a rectangle 1 or 2. And then you can stack them higher, but they're not as heavy, and you can see everything and you don't lose stuff behind. That's something we do a lot at our house. Yeah, I think I buy baking soda and baking powder every time I bake because I think, I can see it, I know if it was there.
It must be out of it. Well, and that's I figure I'm like in the pantry, I'm usually getting stuff and I'm rearranging and moving stuff, so I don't mind having 2 layers deep in the pantry. But in the cupboards, that's stuff I use a little more often.
Right.
So I'm like, perfect. Yeah.
And then this big set back here is the baking center. No, that's going to be the snack center actually. So that's our big set. This is your best value right now.
This would be a good cupboard set.
This one's $65. Normally it's $130. So you get kind of a little bit of everything here with the super ovals and the rectangles. So you'll kind of get a feel for, you'll go, oh man, that's huge. I don't know if I can fill that up with anything, but we do have sugar, flour, white rice, and jasmine rice all in these big ones. And then we keep the big Costco size portions down in our food storage room, and then just refill this as needed upstairs. And that works for us. So I like having a lot, so I don't have to do that very often. And then the super ovals and the ovals are also nice, like you were saying, for things that you need to pour. There are seals that you can purchase separately that have a lift-up flap.
That's one of those seals.
So it kind of works similar to the cereal store, except for it just snaps down.
It's not airtight.
You don't have to walk around. That's true. So these are, it's not the same, and especially like if you get anything in the way, it won't snap down. So it's great for things that you're going to pour, like pasta, beans,
That's my pasta one.
but use it for, it's like quinoa or something, because it was such an awkward thing to store in the first place.
But it's not airtight either. So like pasta is fine, but
So something, and then when you snap it down, and pasta is something you use up pretty quick as well. In this case, especially if you keep stuff in a separate area, garage or pantry or food storage, where you're storing something long term. In cedar, I don't know, it reads everywhere, but we get critters. And I have gone to my cabinets and found chewed up corners on my modular dates. But my food is still good. It's sitting there. That makes me happy.
yeah, this one got chewed up because it was out in the garage when we were moving. And I was like, but yeah. But anyway, and then do you want to talk about the warranty or anything else that way?
So Tupperware does have a lifetime warranty. Tupperware is 75 years old this year. Every single piece of Tupperware, the lid, the seals, say Tupperware on it. Every container, every measuring spoon, every single piece of Tupperware has our name on it. So if you have a Tupperware brand product, you can, and it breaks, chips, cracks, breaks, peels, you can bring it into your rep. You don't have to have a receipt or anything. That's why we write our name all over it all. And they can replace it with a brand new one for free because we're that invested in our product. User error, like I set my flour down on the stove and it was still hot. don't make the same thing anymore, we'll replace it with an upgrade. Or actually, lately what they've been doing is a credit for your original purchasing price that you applied towards anything else you like. So that's a fun thing.
Totally worth it.
To get goodies as well. Yeah, the only thing you might not use your same color if you're attached. So if you love black, buy all of them today.
That's why I was like, hey, I have to wait till January. Like I knew I wanted to replace these like 4 months ago, and I think these are close to $10 a piece. I'm curious now because totally. That set, the pasta center that comes with 4 for $36.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's cheaper than 4 of these store brand things. But hypothetically, let's just say the square.
I think they start at around $8 or $9, and then they go up to about $30 depending on the sizes and shapes.
Well, the square 2, which is big enough, that's what I had to get these big ones for. And now this one's I think like $12 or $14, and the square will hold the same amount. And if I bought it individually, that's not as good of a sale, $15. So that $3 difference. But this has a lifetime warranty. Another problem I have with these, in theory, I love them. I love how clear they are, and I love it. But we dropped a couple on our tile floor, and they've cracked because they're so hard. If I don't get a warranty, that's just that money down the drain. And like I said, and they're not airtight. That's the biggest thing to me, is I want them airtight. If they're not airtight, they're a waste of money. It's a waste of $12. Even if it was $5, it's a waste of $5 if it doesn't do what I need it to do. So, Tupperware that's lifetime warranty and not going to break or crack falling on the counter. It's a no-brainer there. And I'm repenting. I will.
You can throw your office supplies in there. They'll still look pretty.
Yeah, and I think that's what I might do is I'll just give them to my husband for his tools.
Oh yeah.
Because they
are
are
cool.
bolts
and nails and
and
screws.
Visually they're great. It's just in use they're not as cool as I hoped. That's okay. So, all right. So there we go. So I'll add the link. Actually, the link should already be on here to the Tupperware party. You can shop online. Anything you purchase gets shipped directly to your house, so you don't have to worry about contacting me to get your stuff or anything like that. Get shipped right to your house, get the sales. There's even online-only sales stuff,
Yes.
too.
Check out the online-only sales. There's lots of bringbacks, old things that we haven't had in a while are up on the site right now. And then everyth's always kind of while supplies last, so don't wait till the end, because sometimes they go pretty fast.
Hand me that snack next door. So I will just show you really quick some of my absolute favorites. This container, I just told Danielle at Christmas, I have 2 of them, and I was like, I seriously need like 2 more of these, because I use this all the time. Anytime we make cookies, or my thing I do a lot is Rice Krispie treats.
You can make them straight in there.
Yeah, you just put them right in hot, and they're fine. But this is so great, and again, it's airtight. So, like, if you ever have really soft cookies or brownies or anything like that, you want to stay soft, you put it in this, and as long as your kids, in my case, put the lid down all the way, then it's fine. It'll stay soft, and it'll stay amazing. But this is like this one and the bowls.
This one's a fun one too. Come closer in the spring, and they have egg inserts. They come for this, and they're little trays that just sit in there. And there's 3 trays, but altogether it holds 24 eggs. And we use it when we do deviled eggs and we're taking them somewhere. But we also use it when friends of ours that have chickens give us eggs, because you can store them in a hard container, and the seal is firm enough that I can still stack other things on top of it in my fridge instead of worrying about things getting busted or broken.
Yeah, it's like camping and stuff. They're nice. Yeah, same
And
thing.
the advertised. That's my other favorite. So the modular rates and the advertised. Those are the 2 sales that I look forward to all year long.
Definitely. All right, so I hope that was helpful and gave you some ideas for storing your food storage, specifically your Thrive Life and freeze-dried foods that need to be airtight so that they do have that long shelf life. So now is definitely the time to buy. Like I said, I've waited 4 months for the sale because I knew it was coming. So I'm ready to revamp. So I'll have to take pictures and share with you. I don't even want to open my pantry because it's a mess right now. You'd think it'd be organized with these other containers, but it's not. I have kids, let's be real. So anyhow, I'll take pictures and share that as I go through that. But go ahead and comment if you have any questions. Danielle's tagged on here, so she'll see them and she can answer your questions and all that fun stuff. Anything else? Cover it all?
I think so.
Okay. Thanks for watching.